When I owned my marketing agency, I had to hire people. Some were full-time roles like sales and support, and some were just contractors. But here's the problem. I'm terrible at it. I like everybody right away. I get nervous that they're not going to want to work for me. And I never know what questions to ask. Most of the time, I think I'm more nervous than the candidate on the interview. And if you've ever hired the wrong person, then you know that it's not just expensive. It can poison the culture, it can slow production, and it can create some drama that you just can't afford. What made it worse is I just never really had any tools. Everything that you find online is some old generic blog post like, sell me this pen for a salesperson, or a list of questions that has nothing to do with your actual role or company. So today we're going to fix that. In this video, I'm building you the Collision Shop Hiring Filter Machine. It asks you a few questions about your shop's culture, the role that you're hiring for, and the real duties of the job. Then it generates a complete interview kit, a structured interview flow with 20 role-specific questions with follow-ups and red flags, a weighted scorecard that forces an objective decision, and a reference check script mapped to that scorecard. If you want to stop guessing and start filtering, stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll have a hiring system that you can reuse for every role in your shop. Hey, I'm Tom, and I'm back here in the Hero Group AI Labs. As I said, I used to get really nervous interviewing candidates. Some of it was a lack of confidence in my ability to hire well, but mostly it was simple. I just didn't know what to ask. So I would do what everyone else does. I'd Google it, I'd read a bunch of 5 questions to ask every job candidate, listicle type posts, maybe watch a YouTube video or 2, and then I'd still walk into the interview with nothing that actually helped me to figure out 3 things. Is this person any good at what they do? Are they a fit for the specific role in my business? And are they going to be a joy to work with or a problem? This was going to be a really long video, so I decided to break it into 2 parts. This is part 1 of a 2-part build. Part 1, the Collision Shop Hiring Filter Machine, and then part 2 is the 90-day new hire success machine, where we turn that person that you just hired into a productive team member without creating more stress for you. So it's going to revolve around onboarding. So let's get to building part 1. All right, so to make this one, I was concerned that this video was going to take a while. So I went ahead and wrote out all the stuff so you don't have to sit here and watch me type it, so I can just copy paste, because there's a lot involved in this one. And I'm trying to keep the videos pretty tight. I'm concerned that I take too long on these videos. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and grab the prompt. We've got ChatGPT already open here. I've got it in another screen here. Let me just grab this prompt. Okay, so I built this one for this video with a demo mode, which will just have kind of an abbreviated answer set. The actual one that you'll get when you use the prompt is going to have a whole lot more questions in here for interviewing, but I just want to get you a flavor of what this thing will do for you. So I'm just going to pop this in here. All right, so it's going to break this out into 5 steps. So here's the first step. And I already have pre-written answers here. So answer in short bullets, describe your shop, pick the closer truth, management style, and you can adjust all these things as needed in the prompt. It's easy to do. But I'm just going to go ahead and grab my pre-written answers here, just to make it easy, just copy paste kind of thing. So now it's going to ask me for the role. I figured it might be good to just do like a body tech. You can do this for any position you want in the shop. It could be front office, it could be estimator, detailer, whatever you want. But I just picked technician because shops are always hiring for techs, so I'm just gonna drop that in here. So I just put technician, what some basic job things, and 60-day win. I just answered all the questions that it's asking here. And the next one's gonna be duties, job duties. You can pause and read all these questions if you want. I'm going to try to make this a fast video. So duties and failure mode. So pick the duties for a mid-level body tech. Choose 6 to 10. Again, this is abbreviated. There's more of these on the actual prompt. And then failure mode questions. So questions to ask that kind of indicate their ability to handle some, when things don't go right. So here we're just going to drop some answers in there. Okay, so this is the output, and again, this is in the demo mode, so it's going to be a lot less. It's just 3 to 5 bullets, but the real one does a whole lot more than these. But role summary, 5-minute intro script, weighted scorecard, interview questions. So it's now it's starting to build me out the questions here, so that it's just making me 12 of these. We can kind of go through this really fast. So the role summary, mid-level tech, does blueprinting, teardown, follows OEM procedures, communicates when parts are damaged, broken, team first, accountable. There's a little intro script that you can say to kind of warm things up. Kind of gives you like a breakdown of how the interview flow should go here. How to kind of time the interview if you want. Weighted scorecard. So and you can go in and change your scoring and how you want to do this, but if you want to just use the one out of the box, it's a weighted average based on, these buckets of questions here. And then it's got interview questions like some on culture and character. Tell me about a time you disagreed with a shop process or SOP. How'd you handle it? What was the outcome? And that gives you some ideas for strong answers, red flags. Tell me about a time you were under heavy pressure, things like that, right? So, and then role and skill process, scenarios and judgment, walk me through this, so you can kind of get an idea of how the candidate is going to, how they would handle problems and objections. Reference check scripts. So here's some of the things that we want to use to check our answers against. And decision guideline, scoring, what your range is for scoring. So, all right, let me just drop in some answers to that. And then, okay. So I created the questions to ask in question 4. Here's the answers. I put in the answers in here, gave some, here's the question and here's some answers. Again, this is just really abbreviated stuff that just for the purpose of this video. But so here's the scorecard with evidence notes. So quality and rework discipline is one of the areas that I had the system want to check for. So evidence, he owned a comeback, fixed it, and added a checklist. Blueprinting and teardown execution. So it's giving me, 18 out of 25, 10 out of 20. Evidence not covered yet, no teardown or walkthrough. OEM procedure adherence, 6 out of 15. Evidence mentions checklist, but no OEM process example yet. Documentation and communication. Evidence uses photos to support supplement discussion. Wants clear communications plan when parts delay. 12 out of 15. Again, these are just made-up answers to made-up questions. 12 out of 15 on reliability and accountability, and a 7 out of 10 for teamwork under pressure, evidence, collaborative tone with estimated frustration and lack of communications, but not blame. So they got a 65 out of 100. Strengths with evidence, snippets, ownership when something goes wrong. In question 1, I owned it, I fixed it. Question 2, evidence-based communication, brought photos and explained why. Question number 5, coachability and self-awareness, working on asking questions instead of getting annoyed. Clear preference for feedback style, which supports improvement, direct and private. Risks and red flags with evidence snippets. Impatient when plans change, could turn into friction if unmanaged. Strong sensitivity to communication gaps around parts, could become a frustration on busy days. Overall recommendation, hold for the second interview. Conditions to move to hire, confirm teardown discipline, OEM adherence habits, and how they behave under pressure plus change hits. So what this is saying is this is a good candidate, but go to a second interview, and here's what to focus on the second interview. And then targeted follow-up questions to fill the gaps. Again, I only asked for like 5, but this system, when you use the prompt, it'll crank out a whole bunch of these questions. Walk me through your blueprinting and teardown process from pull-in to repair plan. Tell me about a time OEM procedures changed your repair approach. What did you do and how did you document it? Tell me about a time parts delays threatened cycle time. Walk me through how you resequenced work and communicated. Tell me about a time you were behind and still prevented a comeback. What checks did you run? Tell me about a time your impatience showed up at work. What did you do in the moment and what changed after? I guarantee you that you guys aren't thinking to ask these kinds of questions, but this is the kind of stuff that this machine's going to pump out for you. Reference check focus, max 4 bullets. Again, comeback frequency and quality, consistency over time, reliability, attendance, punctuality, steady output, attitude under change, impatience, adaptability, coachability. Behavioral fit snapshot, likely motivators 2 to 3, clear plan and communication, especially around parts, clear standards and direct feedback, solving problems with proof, not opinions. So again, what this is doing is it's finding, I had mock questions and mock answers in here, so it's scoring all this stuff here. Behavioral fit snapshot, so feedback, response, direct, private, standard based, confirm and fix the plan. And then also, by the way, if you have any questions on any of these things, you just ask ChatGPT more of this stuff. I am using ChatGPT 5.2 thinking, but any of these other models would work for this. So anyway, you get the idea. So here's the kind of the bullet point, and then what the candidate said that relates to this. So evidence-based and straightforward. Then you could even do something like, should I hire this candidate? Hold for a second interview right now, not an immediate hire. Based on what you have, the candidate shows 2 strong green flags: ownership after a comeback and evidence-based communication with photos. They also have a manageable risk flag: impatience when plans change. What you do not have yet is the core proof for this role in your shop: teardown and blueprinting discipline, OEM adherence, and how they protect momentum without shortcuts when parts or supplements stall. Hire only if they pass these checks the next round, and then it gives you the things to test for. So you could continue to ask ChatGPT at this point, what are some questions I need to ask around that? How do I test for that? Just whatever the results, whatever your questions are beyond the results that it gives you back. So there you have it, guys. Just wanted to show you the results of, in this demo mode. So this is a much more abbreviated version of what you'll actually get when you run this for yourself when you run the true prompt. And, I could go through all the results and give you some commentary on it, but really on this particular one, the results are going to be specific to your shop, your culture, the role that you're hiring for, and the kind of questions that you want to ask it. So, just know that this is going to provide all that for you. It's going to give you that framework that you need. That's a quick walkthrough of how to use it and how to respond to it, and what's involved in the prompt. So hopefully this will help you hire that rockstar candidate that you're looking to hire next. And then join me on part 2, where we work on how to onboard that technician or that new hire and get them up to speed quickly, and then check in within 30, 60, and 90 days with a plan for what they should be accomplishing along the way, and making sure that they're going to be successful in the role. See you on the next one.